Wonderful morning, fantastic evening, a marvelous evening. Yeah, marvelous evening. This is Carla from Rehan, Allahwala's World of Connections. And tonight I have the honor of speaking to a meditation teacher who now lives in Toronto, but was from Lahore, Pakistan. Her name is Rubina Hassan, and I am going to get to know her. And I'm going to change her name so it is her Facebook name. Having said that, a reminder that this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. Rubina, please introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you for having me on your show. And as you already have given a small introduction, like my name is Rubina. I am originally from Lahore, Pakistan, and I moved to Canada in 2007. So I've been living in Canada since 2007, and I love doing meditation. I've been doing it since 2010. And initially, when I started doing it, it was I wasn't doing it regularly because I was not aware of how valuable it is, its benefits at that time, up until later on in my life in 2018, when there were some moments in my life when I actually get sick, and I wasn't doing it regularly, but then I had to do it on a regular basis, and I would like to share that experience with you later on. And at that point, I was able to get that how valuable it is, and how much benefits we can get from it health-wise. And that is what I try to teach people, actually, that from health point of view, how wonderful it is, and what kind of benefits people can get from it by adding it to their regular routine life.
Okay, do you mind if I ask you what drew you to meditation?
That's really a good question, because as I told you that in 2010, when I started doing it, I didn't know nothing about its benefits, especially health benefits. So I just started it out of curiosity. I bought a book, and it was written by a famous, a renowned writer in Pakistan. His name is Ashfaq Ahmed. And I have this book. It's one of my bedside books. So its name is Baba Sahiba. So I was reading it, and he wrote in detail his his dialogue with one of professor, an honorary professor in Italy. It's, I think, early 50s. He talked about the days. So he mentioned a dialogue with that professor, and that person introduced him to meditation the first time in his life. And it was a detailed dialogue in which that professor, he mentioned that how he was born and raised in Egypt in his childhood, and he saw certain, we call them, like, those Buddhist monks and people who are spiritually inclined, or more inclined towards spiritual side. So in Islam, in we Muslims, we call them Sufis. So he mentioned watching some Sufis and meeting some Sufis and doing different kind of meditations. And I can call those meditations as Islamic meditations. Anyone can do that, but because the words used, the type of breathings used were more with the towards like one way we do it is Allahu, like we breathe in a way where we try to sound our breath, our inhaling breath and our exhale breath as in the form of Allahu. So, and there's not just this one, there are too many ways he mentioned, that professor mentioned. So in that dialogue, they were talking more towards spirituality. So while I was reading it, it made me curious as I started doing it out of curiosity because the writer was asking that teacher or the professor, like if someone wants to know himself, self, inner self or self, what is the way, what is the method? And that person told him that there's only one way. You have to be alone. You have to be at some quiet place. You have to silent your mind, your brain, and you have to close your eyes. You have to sit with yourself. You have to try to become familiar with yourself. You have to know yourself. So, and by the way, and you are a meditation teacher, so you must know that word meditation means to become familiar with. So that's how I started it. I started it out of curiosity. Let's do it. Let's see what is it and what kind of experience, if I will do it, I will be getting from it. So what I was getting at that time after doing it, it's like it was so relaxing. It was like 15, 20 minutes of sitting in a meditative state and you're silencing your mind and you're just focusing on your breath. And by the way, at that time, I wasn't aware of how important breathing is in meditation and how important breathing is in our life. Like what is the importance of breathing alone, when if we without meditation, it has so much importance health wise in our lives. And it's later on in 2018 I was able to get that idea when I got sick, and I got those moments in my life. I call them, I call that moment, one moment, the epiphany moment, when something happens, when you take a decision and that decision change your life, the course of your life, the rest of your life. So in 2010, when I started it, it was just out of curiosity and no other reason. I never heard it about it before. Yes, I heard about that word. We call it muraqaba in Urdu language. Meditation is called as muraqaba. So I heard that word, but I wasn't aware of what is it, what its meaning, how to do it, or what are the benefits, how valuable it is, and especially health wise I'm talking about. So yes, that's how I started doing it.
Okay. You said about silencing your mind. I have a question about that. Thoughts are a part of our mind and a part of our life. Can we silence them, or is it better to accept that they are there?
We cannot silence our thoughts. Thoughts are something that will come to you anyways. What you have to learn, and that's what you learn through meditation. You learn to let them come and go. Let them come and go. And you remind me this question of yours. It's a wonderful question. You remind me of Rumi's saying. I don't remember the exact wording, but he says that thoughts are like guests. Every morning, every day, when you wake up, and just take them as guests, welcome them, let them in your home, let them and just let them go. So thoughts will be there, thoughts will stay there. They will. You have to learn to let them come and go, and you have to learn to observe them. You have to learn to be a spectator. What we do in our life is that we act like a player playing in the ground. We have to learn that we have to be just to be a spectator and observe our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions. Let them come and let them go, and do not affect ourselves, our life, the way they're affecting us. That's what make us sick. That's what make us sick, physically, psychologically, spiritually, and there's financial health, financially, all the aspects of our life. So our quality of life is actually gets affected if we are not aw- aware of, excuse me, if we are not aware of how to deal with those thoughts, how to let them come and just go and just observe them, and do not react on them the way we normally do.
Because I know sometimes we can have thoughts that make us happy and we become very joyful. And then there are the thoughts, oh no, that can't be right. How do you handle that during meditation?
So here is the point. Like, there's no harm in getting good thoughts and becoming happy on them, and joyful, and feeling those emotions of happiness and joy. The problem comes when we get some bad thoughts from the past, from some past event, so from someone who hurt us in our past. The problem is there. So what we have to learn that we should not feel those emotions. We should not let those emotions to overcome us. Thoughts will stay there. Memories, they will stay there. They will not go anywhere. They will come once in a while, whenever you go through something, some similar experience, or you see that same person again, or anything could happen in your life that could lead you towards having those thoughts. So I remember this saying of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I follow his teachings as well, in meditation. So he says that if a thought without an emotion is a wisdom. So when you are able to manage your emotions, you are able to manage to disconnect emotions with the thoughts, then those memories, those thoughts, the events happen, they make you more wise. You learn from them. It gives you more wisdom. They are not there to destroy you, to devastate you. So that's what I learned from this meditation and this all stuff. If you want to add something, please.
You don't need to ask, that's my job. What type of meditation do you actually teach? Are you following a certain guru? Are you following a certain way of life? What are you following?
So it's not like I don't have specific guru or a teacher in my life, like for meditation specifically. I learned it through self-education, self-study. As I told you, that I started it by reading this book, and I watched some of the interviews of that writer. He mentioned it. He explained a little bit in those interviews as well. So that's how I started. And then I started learning it myself by doing more and more research on it online. Now it's, a lot of everything is available online. If if you if you know how to search the authentic and genuine information, and that's what we learned it, because I recently, in not recently, in 2019, I did a 2 years diploma here in Canada in biotechnology. And I remember one of my German professor, his name was Dr. Ethan, and he used to say, he used to call this Google as Dr. Google. So they made us learn that how to retrieve or how to search for genuine and authentic information online on the internet. So I did a lot of research, and through that research, I was able to find Dr. Joe Dispenza. I started learning about there's so much about his meditations, about his teachings, his lectures. My problem is it's not a problem. Actually, it's a good habit, maybe. I don't dabble on things. Dive deep into when I get a topic, a subject, which induce some curiosity in me, and I find it interesting. I try to dive deep into it. I do extensive research and study and self-study. So that's what I did, especially after 2018. And that's how I was able to find out about breathing. It's how the benefits of breathing and how we can improve it. So there are different. Then I find out about Deepak Chopra. You might have heard about it. He is also a meditation guru.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Actually, I knew him, but go on.
okay. So I learned his law of intention meditation, and I added it because how I do personally meditate, I make a blend of different kind of meditations that suits me, and I change it from time to time, like according to my needs. So yeah, there are several people from whom I learned, but through self-study. There is no one guru or teacher that I hired specifically for meditation, and no, there is no one. I try to learn it from there, and then I now these days, once in a while, I try to learn from Sadhguru, an Indian spiritual leader.
Yeah.
He talks about so many different topics and meditation as well. So that's how I learn it, and I try to make it according to my needs and the what suits to me. So as far as you talked about how I teach other people, and it depends. There, what kind of a person is? Is it someone Muslim and is interested in Islamic meditation? Then obviously, as I mentioned, this writer, he mentioned a lot of ways to do Islamic meditation. But if someone is non-religious, non-Muslim, and is more interested, because these days people are very much are getting interested more and more in Dr. Joe's work, and his work is fabulous, marvelous, actually. And so many people are getting better. So many people are getting rid of different kind of sicknesses, diseases, even cancers. People are surviving through cancer. So these days, I feel that people are more interested in learning Dr. Joe's meditation. So it depends on the need of the student or the other person who I engage with. Sometimes people are already doing it. People approach me on my profile. They message me because I write on different social media platforms, especially in different Facebook groups, about my experiences. Because a few months ago, I get those mystical moments or transcendental moments while doing Dr. Joe's one of the meditation. It's been named as Botek 3, because there are so many Boteks now, I think 6. So I once in a while I write on Facebook groups, in different Facebook groups and social media platforms. So it's been more often it's been happening that people came to me. And 2 days ago, a lady, she asked me so many questions. So she was already doing it. She learned the basics, everything. She just needs some answers. She didn't need my help as a teacher. She was just curious because she was getting through some experiences, and she just wanted to get my opinion. And yeah, so that's how I teach it to the people.
Do you feel that people are becoming more spiritually interested now in the past few years than they were before?
I feel it, because I think there was this phase when people get too materialistic. The whole world, there was this some kind of industrialized revolution. After that, people became more materialistic. They and it brings so a lot of benefits for humanity, but it takes away peace and real joy and happiness from our lives, and people are getting more diseases and illnesses. So maybe that is the reason, and I feel it that yes, people are more getting inclined towards and plus I think there is something in all of us, in human beings, that always want us, that satisfaction. We don't get it from from this materialistic world. There is some need, and we all feel it. We want some questions to be answered. I think it's our soul, that it's the thirst of our soul that needs to be fulfilled, and only gets fulfilled by getting more spiritual, getting more connected with God. And I think it's yesterday someone asked this question in a group, like, how can one get connected to the God? And I wrote it in two lines, that you have to get connected to your soul, and your soul is the one that makes that connection, your connection with the God. And meditation is the way to do it, to connect to your soul, and your soul will connect you to the God. Simple and easy. And the people who are able to understand it, who are already doing this work, they actually liked it, because it's if you understand it, if you get that point, initially it's not easy. Once you start doing it, you're able to realize then it's simple and easy to understand. So yes, people are getting spiritual lately. They I think it's a need of this time, of this era, to get connected with our souls, and to get connected with our creator, to get peace.
How do you define soul?
Soul, if you want me to define it, a theoretical definition, or what I read about it is, although we have been told that you cannot know everything about, you will not be able to know much about soul, so don't talk about it much. But I think it's what I get it from our teachings for Holy Scripture, our Quran, and sayings of our Prophet, that it's a kind of, there's a typical word used for it in Urdu language, and maybe in Arabic too. It's Noor, and Tajalli, and in English, I think there's light or energy, are the words we can use for it. So it's a kind of light and energy that Allah puts in all of the human beings. And He is the God, Allah is the ultimate source of that light or that energy. Like, when we go and see a waterfall. So let's talk about Niagara Falls. So there's so much water gushing down. So we're surprised that from where that water is coming. So we walk behind those falls, and there's a river from there. A lot of water is coming and gushing down, and we think that, oh, that is the source of that water. But actually, that is not the source of that water. The actual source is somewhere those glaciers on top of those mountains, from where that snow is melting and coming. So similarly, the actual source of our soul is God Himself. So that's why when you try to connect to your inner self, your soul, you ultimately you get connected with the God, the creator who creates you, and you started getting questions, you started getting peace, real peace. and real joy in your life, that satisfaction that you cannot get from anywhere else.
Now, are we really the creators, or is there someone else who creates our world?
I believe that God is the real creator.
But has he given us the gift to be a creator?
In a way, yes. In a way, yes. And it's a difficult topic to talk about. It's difficult in a sense that a lot of people out there would not be able to get the idea if I will say that, oh yes, I am the creator of uh, my reality. I can create. So the people will get mad because not everybody will be able to grasp the exact idea behind it. So I don't think that we should talk about it. I should actually talk about it so openly in a public forum where there are chances that people can get it in a wrong way. But when let me talk about it in another way. So I was
Wait a minute. Whenever we think, you could agree with me or you may not agree with me. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as what you say is coming authentically from your heart and your soul.
yes.
So why shouldn't you talk about anything you want?
I'm giving you the reason that why I don't want to talk about it. I don't want people to get offended. Not
Why,
because, go ahead.
why does that matter?
Uh, because I don't want someone to get offended because that person is not able to understand it. That person is not able to get the idea behind it.
And that's their problem, not yours. So if you are afraid to talk openly, how can you teach meditation?
I'm not afraid of talking about it, but there are, because I have to think about it and according to my religion as well. So there are certain limitations. There are certain boundaries. We cannot cross those boundaries.
Are they
Because,
not the boundaries you're putting on from your mind?
uh, no, not I'm putting from my mind. It's not that all.
What other mind do you have?
It's not about other mind. It's about teachings.
Right.
I don't want to.
So
I
if
don't want to
you're
go deep in
teaching,
it.
let me ask a question. I'm not trying to be rude, but if you are teaching something and you believe something is right, but you don't want to say it because someone else may disagree with you, how can you be teaching?
You have to see. You have to check the level of the other person.
You don't know those.
No. But if the other person is not going to grasp the idea because he is not at that level, then how you will be able to? You will be able to make that person get more offended rather than taking him to.
How do you know a person's level? I certainly don't know. And I talk to thousands of people every day.
So you cannot find it like by looking at person's face, obviously. But when you start talking to someone, when you start, especially when you teach someone, it's more easy to. It's very easy for a teacher to find out what the person's level is, what he or she is already at a level.
So you can't judge their level, but I wouldn't say to someone who doesn't believe in meditation, you need to meditate every day because they're not ready. But you can't judge where they are. or what they understand, at least in my mind. I could be totally wrong with what I'm saying. I don't know.
It's not about judging, but what, if someone is coming to me to learn it, it means that they're willing to learn it.
Right. So you let them, just as we talked before, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about that. And where did we come to? We learned that talking, we just talk. Does anyone really care what we say? Really? I don't know. These are questions I am asking. I don't know the answers, but we have come to the end. Is there anything you want our audience to know about?
All I want your audience to know about is they should think about learning meditation, and it's really helpful and beneficial, and it's a valuable practice, especially health-wise. That's all that I want to tell your audience.
And that's good, because many people wouldn't even think about it unless they saw the use health-wise. But in any case, I hope we will begin to. We have just started a new journey of friendship. I want to thank you for talking to me. I want to thank anyone who watched or will watch this interview at a later date. And thank you. And
thank you so much for having me on your show. Actually, it's an honor for me to talk to you.
You're more than welcome. And with that, I want to remind people that this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. Don't go anywhere, but let's wave goodbye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.